fair relationship. Guess it's back to situationships till this whole thing's over.
Okay, you want to know what's crazy is that we're creeping up on the end of the year. Since when did that happen? Did I let out the lion? No, let's just tame her. It's Monday. Hi, happy Monday, everyone. Love it, love Monday. Monday after a break is so difficult. And also I was traveling, so this cookie is just raw. It did not cook all the way, but that's okay. But today, this Monday, we have big plans. So right now I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna edit a vlog that will hopefully go up today. I don't know if I hang on to it and get like a week ahead in terms of time with uploads. I don't know. I'm trying to rethink how I want to do posting and scheduling and things like that. But anyway, I'm going to edit that video. Whenever it goes up, it goes up. It'll be the last week of NaNo. So that's exciting. It's going to be a longer vlog, I think. I did a little bit of yapping. And then we're putting up the Christmas tree today. My husband and I have the dorkiest little Christmas tree in the world. And I adore it. I think it's beautiful. We don't have a star or a cute bow. It's not aesthetic or angel. We have a rubber chicken that when he was a bachelor, he pulled the legs off of it so that he could stick lights up its plastic butt and then on the tree. And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. That's what we're doing today. And then I'm gonna finish some writing, hopefully, maybe. I don't know. We're gonna make some soup for dinner. Something homey and comforting. I'm gonna have tomato soup and grilled cheese. And I made Christmas tree cookies. For winter holidays, these are just like a rite of passage cookie. When people tell me Americans have no culture, I just show them those cookies. And I say, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna do my things. I'll talk to you guys later. I have a load of laundry in, so it's loud down here. But I'm gonna clean my kitchen and you're gonna watch, maybe. I don't know. Hi. Last time I talked to you, it was Monday, I think, and now it is Thursday. I did take a much needed break, like just from everything. And it was partly forced upon me. I didn't plan to take a break from writing or filming anything. And I just, like, it wasn't intentional. Like, there were plenty of times that I meant to pick up the camera and just didn't. But, like, I took many naps the past 3 days. I've taken a nap every day. Tuesday, Wednesday. Really, that's only 2 days. But, like, instead of writing, I gave my body rest and my mind rest. And apparently, that's what I needed. So fine, I'm happy with it. I'm feeling a lot better today, so I think I'm just gonna go about as business as normal. I mean, I anticipate writing this evening, so we'll see what happens. I also am curious if this evening or tomorrow we will end up doing a little bit more Christmas decorating because we have our little Christmas tree up, and then that's kind of it. Like, we have a few like random tree decorations everywhere, but just on the ground with me and all the decoration boxes that need to go and be put away. I figured we'd hang out on the floor for a little bit because I'm feeling some floor time. What was I saying? I wonder if we're gonna go do more Christmas shopping because we have a vision for like some garland over the window frames and the door frames, and we're just kind of feeling froggy, feeling like we want a little bit more Christmas cheer. And I think part of it has to do with the fact that we're pretty sure that we'll be spending Christmas at home. Like, we're gonna spend Christmas with his side of the family this year, but we're thinking that his side of the family will come to us instead of us going to them. So like, we might actually get to be in our house when Christmas happens, and that's so fun. We love being in our living room around our Christmas tree, opening presents together. Or at least I adore it. I think it's so much fun. I'm also hoping that it snows tomorrow. I am ready for some snow. It's so cold and gloomy out. Like, I don't want cold and gloom if it's not snowing. Then it's just cold and gloomy for no reason. So that might happen tonight. That might happen Friday. I don't know. Might happen this weekend, but I'm thinking that we're gonna decorate a little bit for the holidays. I'm thinking also that I want to sort of keep this vlog a little short because there's not a lot of content, and I don't want to push uploading this one all the way into next week. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna take everything too seriously. I'm just gonna do what needs done, and then that'll be that. You know me, homie. Get your stuff at Aldi. They have gnomes. Anyway, the nice thing is that I've definitely got some distance from my project. The most distance I think I've ever had. Like, I haven't even attempted to reach for it in 2 days. 3 days. I don't even think I wrote on Monday. And that feels kind of nice. Like, I'm starting to kind of be like, okay, I'm ready to dive back in. You know, some distance is good sometimes. Refreshes the mind, and hopefully it'll give me a good outlook on the story as I'm making changes and things. And I'm thinking that a good way to warm up will be while I'm doing the dishes, to listen to the chapters that I recorded and kind of get back in and review. The issue is, I think I've written many more chapters that I have not recorded. I'm wondering if maybe today I go back through those chapters instead of continuing the draft. Because technically I finished Act 1. So I'm thinking I just go back through and comb through Act 1. Probably needs some additions, probably needs some cuts, definitely needs some edits. I just kind of want to elevate where that draft is at right now, and then probably record those chapters. So I think that's going to be the goal for this week. Does that mean that I've added to my word count? I don't know. I'm curious how I want to do that. I need to do some housekeeping and putting some stuff in Track Bear and all that good stuff. So like, we're getting back to things. That's my evening plan. So I'm going to clean my kitchen. I'm going to listen to some chapters that I wrote. Just wild. And I'm going to make some hot chocolate. It is chocolate sipping weather. I'm okay with the sugar and the calories. See you in a minute. Finally, this week was like 1,000 years long. I think I've only filmed like 3 days of this week, and that's fine. That's mostly just because not much happened. Kind of debated whether or not like I want to really post what I've filmed, but I also don't want to like, I want to post a video, so I'm just gonna show you guys what my week looked like. Even though it's not the most exciting thing in the world, it is realistic. Just kind of a recap. I've written 3 days this week, which, coming off of a holiday and then feeling so rotten most of the week, it's pretty good. So I'm looking at a track bear goal for this month's writing goal, which is going to be 20,000 words, so I can kind of complete the loop of my 50,000 word goal in draft 2 by the end of this year type thing. I only need 700 words a day to meet my goal, and that's really great. So I'm going through and kind of adding, rewording, trying to polish a little bit of what I wrote last month, and believe it or not, we're adding words. That might not be a good thing. That might be a bad thing, but I think I'm noticing some gaps in like transitions, and I'm missing some setting, I'm missing some interiority. My real concern with that is that I'm overwriting this book. But I'd rather overwrite than underwrite, you know? I'd rather have too much and pare it down than not have enough and not know what to do with it. So that's where I'm at. Act 1 is sitting at 30,705 words at the moment. So that's pretty neat. What I'm really noticing as I'm going through and like rereading what I wrote during NaNo, I'm like, it's fine, but it's not very pretty. My voice is pretty direct and maybe a bit casual. I don't know if I really have a rhythm. Like, I've read this stuff out loud and like listened to it back, and there are times where I'm like, okay, that felt like a flow. I heard flow. That was nice to listen to. And then there's times where I'm like, okay, that whole section was jumpy and choppy. And there are times where that's appropriate. I like to purposefully be a bit choppy with my sentences, especially when there's a moment of panic or danger. Fight scenes, I don't want over verbose sentences. I want them to be very clear, so you have a very clear image of what's happening. But also, like, in that moment of like your life is on the line, there are very few things running through someone's mind besides like what's immediately happening, what's the task at hand, and like what exactly needs to be known at this moment in order to survive. So I try to channel that into my writing, if that makes sense. I have no idea if that's something that's successful or even something that I should be doing. What I've noticed though that's kind of helpful to get to recognize things like flow and all that good stuff is voice training. So I think I want to pick up a little bit more of that. So I think that's what I might end the evening with. I think I'm going to tally up how many words I wrote. It's like 200 words. I think I need to write more words or I can save the voice training for tomorrow. One or the other. I'm going to do one or the other, but I want to break 500 words tonight at least. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm going to do a little bit of voice training. If you don't know what voice training is, it's where you pick up a book from an author that you admire, a genre that you're writing in, specifically to like a scene or something that you think that writer is really strong in, and you would like to be more like, you want to be as good as they are at that thing that you think they're really good at. So for example, I did some voice training using Fonda Lee, and I picked a fight scene that really like stuck out to me. It was very vivid in my mind, and I really liked the way it was written. And I was like, you know what? I would like the way I write fight scenes to be that kind of vivid. Found that chapter and found that scene, and then by hand in a notebook I wrote that scene, copied it word for word, punctuation, everything. And it only ended up like the whole scene only ended up being 1, 2, 3 pages, and it did strike me how short it really was. She did a lot with not very much, and That was one thing that stuck out to me. I also went through and kind of annotated some things for pacings. I noticed that she was able to do a lot in a short amount of time. So what I did was I took some of Brandon Sanderson's philosophy of promises and payoff and just like zoomed in to a little bit of a micro view. Just watch some of Brandon Sanderson's videos on plot, promises, and payoff, and he'll explain it better than I will. Basically, promises are things that authors give the reader that kind of hint at something that will happen. The reader might flag that as foreshadowing or a hint, or they might not, but you are laying the groundwork for what's going to happen next. It's a way for authors to build tension and momentum to hook the reader into whatever it is that's happening, but also give readers a path to follow. Like they can see progress in the whole plot, because it's like, oh, I wonder if that's gonna happen. And then if like a couple paragraphs later, you're like, it happened, it feels like progress. Does that make sense? They get that little micro payoff, if that makes sense. So I kind of took his big idea, I just made it smaller and looked at it in the micro throughout a fight scene. There's like some big thematic things that I marked didn't necessarily get answered in the scene, but built tension and built the stakes up around the scene. And then some of them I just like I thought it was foreshadowing. So one of the things, I don't want to spoil if you haven't read Jade City, but one of the things that happens is Hilo gives his brother some advice about this other guy's fighting style, and that ends up, I caught that pretty early on when I read it the first time as foreshadowing. Nope, that's going to be important later. And I marked it here. So anyway, I just counted how many promises she made and then how many times she made good and followed through on those promises and called payoff. I don't know if this is making a ton of sense, and I might just have to maybe show you guys what I'm talking about in a different video, but there's at least 6 different like foreshadowing and hints, but they all really culminated in 2 main payoffs, both really close together, that closed the scene. So I thought it was really cool how she did that. I also took into account her prose. At this point, I'm just rambling. I might have to talk about this later. Anyway, if any of what I'm saying makes sense, I don't know what I just said to you, but it probably didn't make all that much sense. But anyway, I think I'm gonna do some voice training specifically for making my sentences just sound prettier, because they're just kind of not pretty. Like they're fine, but they're not. So I used Fond du Lis to help me write a fight scene, to help inform how I write combat. I think I'm gonna use Pierce Brown to help me be a little bit prettier with my words, if that makes any sense. In other news, we're decorating my house this weekend. So really stay tuned for the weekend vlog, because it's gonna be jam-packed. I appreciate everyone who's come along with me in the journey, all the encouragement and support in your comments during NaNo was really encouraging. And I really enjoyed the whole endeavor, even though it wasn't entirely successful. I'm feeling strongly that the mission was failed successfully, if you will. Everything about NaNo was so much fun. Even like the struggle bus that I was on pretty much the whole time, it feels like I'm looking back on it with a lot of really fond memories, because I am proud of myself and I love being in the vibes. I love the nostalgia that's attached to it. I love the camaraderie and the progress that was made, and the fact that I worked really hard for something and mostly did precisely what I intended to. So I'm feeling good vibes all around. I hope that all of your projects, whatever they are exciting and fulfilling, and that you are pleased with yourself. Be kind to yourself. I was just having that conversation with my writing group on Discord. Be kind to yourself. It's something everyone needs to remember, myself most of all. Cheers, everyone. I hope your week was good, and thank you so much for watching. That's all. Bye.